swear to me that everything you said about the fireflies is true.
Well, it was one of the most beloved science fiction shows of all time, but it was canceled after only 14 episodes in one movie. Joel might lie about potential cures to a global zombie pandemic, but he would never lie about Firefly. Also, Joel pauses for a good 4 Mississippis before answering. Ellie has to know this is a lie. If only Joel were better at lying than killing a hospital's worth of people who were trying to cure a plague which had ravaged the entire planet, this season would probably not even be necessary. Giraffes rely on very specific vegetation to survive, and they're indigenous to African savannas, where the temperatures seldom drop below 70 degrees. There is no way these giraffes have thrived for decades in Salt Lake City.
Why would he do this?
I heard rumors about some kid he took that was supposedly...
That wasn't true.
What is true, though, is that cordyceps might have wiped out most of civilization, but thankfully the pronoun gaming is still going strong.
50s, graying, beard, 6 foot tall, scar on his right temple. Oh yeah, they say he's handsome.
Reducing Pedro Pascal to handsome. He is sexy and you know it.
Slowly.
Being this cinematically delayed with your real-life reveals. For all her people know, Abby's talking about the best way to cook a brisket. And to be fair, she would be correct.
When we kill him slowly.
Joel killed Abby's dad, sure, but he didn't torture him. It was one gunshot. Abby is addicted to the concept of tit for tat.
Get up.
Main characters in a violent struggle to make the audience think they're fighting for their life when in reality it's just a sparring match. Cliché. Also, in a post-apocalyptic world where medical supplies are probably pretty scarce, is there not a way to train that's not so potentially lethal?
Boom, motherfucker.
Excessive celebration, poor sportsmanship. Penalty, 3 sins.
I pulled it.
You pulled it?
Yeah, he pulled it.
Why?
Why did he pull a punch to Bella's face? Is that her actual question? The immediate answer should be because your face would be concave if he hadn't. Oh, and once again, why are they wasting needed medical supplies on bullshit like this?
You going to the thing tonight?
People who say thing instead of party. In case you confused it with Jackson, New Hampshire.
Fixing these breakers. They were gonna chuck the whole panel, but all they need is new springs.
But to be fair, are springs super easy to come by in a post-apocalyptic landscape? Because I'm gonna guess they are not.
First thing first, before you mess with circuits, you gotta check if the wires are live. So how do you do that?
I licked them.
Voltage tester.
But to be fair, are voltage testers super easy to come by in a post-apocalyptic landscape? Because I'm gonna guess they are not.
Can I ask a question?
Shoot.
Why is she angry at you?
This episode is at least 47% characters playing the pronoun game.
I can't hold myself responsible for another person's emotional state.
Thing I repeatedly tell myself while perusing the YouTube comments somehow makes its way into this episode.
This scope is sick.
It ain't the scope, it's the shooter.
But to be fair, it's also pretty much equally the scope.
Gatewatch.
What? Why?
Cause it's an important job.
It's standing on a fence.
19-year-old kids.
I swear, you and my brother, same goddamn person.
Really? I never took Joel for a whining wine person who whines like a whiny McWhinerface branded wine machine.
I'll do it by the book.
She will not. These terrible finger guns. I'm not even sure those would kill imaginary monsters, Benji.
What's the occasion?
It's my birthday.
Using "it's my birthday" as an excuse to do whatever you want. If it didn't work for that Bobcat incident when I turned 16, it shouldn't work here.
Shaken stems. What am I, in high school?
It's winter, Gail.
There might still be a stigma about therapy in this post-apocalyptic world, but at least the price of mental health care has dropped significantly. Also, they've got voltage testers and springs, but no better weed than shaken stems? Look, I'm just getting really hung up on that voltage tester thing because I'm pretty sure I couldn't even find one today.
Didn't know psychiatrists were allowed to drink in these things.
Says the man who just paid for his session with weed.
Well, I tried what you said. I backed off. I stopped putting pressure on her. Don't even... Even Dina asked me today, what's wrong with her?
That's not accurate. What Dina asked was...
Why is she angry at you?
Joel's version makes it seem like Dina was admitting that Ellie was the problem and not Joel. You can already picture Dina, off screen, minding her own business and getting gaslighted upside the head out of nowhere.
She talks to me, says, hello, gives me a smile, looks up to me, makes me feel like I'm a good guy, which I am.
People who feel the need to reassure those around them that they are in fact good guys.
Oh, 19-year-old daughter. She's acting toward me like every 19-year-old daughter has ever acted toward their dad, ever.
Gail would be problematic, but still quite excellent at TVSins.
What is this, our 5th session? Are you just gonna keep grouching on like this every time?
Clearly, Gail has not watched season 1, and I feel like to be the best therapist for Joel, she should have at least done some homework.
You shot and killed my husband. You killed Eugene.
And you still agreed to be Joel's therapist? How is that in any way on him? Also, regardless of what came first or whether or not the show is technically better, which it is, this series still parallels The Walking Dead so closely, it's sometimes hard to remember which show I'm watching. So if we're gonna mention characters that have never been introduced, how about we don't give them the same name as popular characters from the other series? I don't care if it's Eugene in the video game, they change names all the time. Victor Frankenstein became Henry Frankenstein in the original Universal film, and we all moved on with our lives just fine.
I know I should forgive you.
Well, I've tried, and I can't because of how you did it. And looking at your face sitting in our home makes me so f***ing angry.
Catherine f***ing O'Hara.
Say the thing you're afraid to say. I can help you. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. I promise I will help.
Expecting someone to trust them with their deepest, darkest secret after telling them you hate their guts and will never forgive them for murdering their husband. Pine tree, gate, mailbox, rocking chair, excitement? Maybe the most unbelievable part of this entire post-apocalyptic world is that cassette tapes were the audio format that survived the fall of mankind. Is that tattoo supposed to be covering the bite mark? Because that tattoo is doing a super shitty job of covering the bite mark. No offense to Tommy's wishes, but if that's how Ellie is walking, then everyone is talking about how Ellie has been bit.
Hi. Came to pick you up.
Ah, sudden Dora the Explorer.
You're doing the alpine run. I know a couple of you are new to this trail, so listen up. You're taking Route 191 down to Hoback.
Jesse has clearly learned all of his lessons on doling out information from episodes of The Californians.
You know you're only like 4 years older than us, right?
Underestimating the vast gulf of maturity between a 19-year-old and a 23-year-old. One's working through the freshman 15. The other is spending all their time applying to jobs and being rejected by AI filters that didn't like the keywords in their resume.
Jokes aside, can you take things a little more seriously?
I've been hanging out with these two for less than 30 minutes, and I already know the answer to this question. Jesse's been around them for the past 5 years. Why is this question?
Kat's available.
Why would I ask Kat?
Because she's the other one.
Othering someone based on their sexuality.
We should go back and report it.
I'm all for being a stickler for the rules, but to go all the way back to report a random blood trail in the snow? No wonder no one listens to Kat.
How many infected does it take to bring down a bear?
3. One to hold the bear, and the other 2 to turn the ladder around in circles. Wait.
Hey, can we go back now, please?
There's no action with more leader quality than a leader who asks for charges permission to execute a command. F***ing Kat.
There's no babies in there.
Well, not with that attitude, there aren't. Waiting until you're inside the dark place with monsters to turn on your flashlight instead of having it ready to go before then. Mimes. CJ clearly went to the Ross Geller School for Protective Lunch Notes. This seems cute and all that the dog got Employee of the Month, but what this picture doesn't tell you is that it's the boss's dog. And we don't put up with nepotism around these parts. Also, sightseeing during a kill mission. Listen, my attention span has been addled beyond recognition by the constant barrage of social media distractions as much as the next guy. But I'd like to think I'd be able to stay on task while hunting dangerous mushroom zombies. Ellie survives this. I'm pretty sure bite immunity doesn't carry all the way to protecting her from dangerous falls. The very least, she should have f***ed up an ankle or a spleen.
Ellie! Ellie!
Ellie. Okay, so the doors are padlocked, but that wall is obviously about 80% boarded up window. If the floor was so rotten that Ellie could just fall through it, how hard could it be to just rip off that plywood and smash one's way out of the room? This People magazine was released on September 22nd, 2003. That's just 4 days before the cordyceps outbreak hit critical mass. The fact that the publisher thought Americans would be so oblivious to the danger of a global pandemic that's quickly wiping out the human race that they'd want to kick back and enjoy a best and worst dressed celebrities issue is... Wait, never mind. That tracks. Sending it anyways. The infected are attracted to sound, so maybe pump a shell into the chamber before you go into the building.
Run at me, f***er.
Talking to the infected murder zombie instead of just shooting it. That is way too open an area for the infected to have disappeared that quickly. Are they f***ing wizards now, too?
You okay? Yeah.
Look, I know Ellie and Dina were breaking the rules to come in here and clear the building on their own, but all those gunshots and Kat and the others just sat outside and did nothing to help. I think it's time to seriously rethink how the town council chooses the leaders for these patrols. Also, Ellie's response isn't immediately followed up with Dina exclaiming, "Oh, hooray! We did it!"
And how exactly is you two running into an uncleared building qualify as following the rules?
And obeying your captain?
Once again, why is everyone being so easy on Kat's responsibility in this situation? She didn't exactly pull them back. I'm now more curious how they've had this many successful scouting scenarios over the last 5 years with this lack of leadership.
All right. Apologize to Kat and log your report with Jesse. Go.
Apologize? No one should be surprised that Ellie is constantly putting the lives of her and others in danger if the only punishment is to apologize.
Reality is nothing but a collective hunch. Lily Tomlin.
No one will be seated while the random Lily Tomlin fan on the council spouts her stolen wisdom. How do they not have mandatory bite checks for all team members when they return to town? How is that not just standard operating procedure by now?
Just come to see if you were going to that thing tonight.
30% of the dialogue in this episode is just people asking Ellie if she's going to the thing tonight. We get it. There's going to be yet another party that I'm not going to get invited to.
Oh, I hate these things.
Jesse is that guy at parties who always has to tell you why he hates parties, and now I fucking hate Jesse because of this. Doing a real bang-up job getting us to embrace these new characters Last of Us Season 2.
You guys will be back together in 2 weeks, tops.
Nothing like an episode going overboard to try to make me care about the will they or won't they scenario for two characters I was introduced to less than an hour ago.
Hey, don't forget, you got early patrol, so get some rest.
Scheduling early patrol for someone getting wasted at a New Year's Eve party.
Okay, I have a very serious question for you.
Okay, I have a very serious skip for you.
Maybe they're jealous of you.
No reason to be. I'm not a threat.
I get it's a trope to have the main character be oblivious to someone's advances, but this is taking it a bit too far. All that's missing is Sebastian singing in the background.
I think they should be terrified of you.
Sexy foreshadowing. Forsexing? Sex shadowing?
It's a family event.
Sorry.
Sorry.
In a church.
Living in an apocalypse and being more worried about which buildings get to be occupied by which gender construct gets to insert their tongue into which other gender construct.
I don't need your fucking help.
Assuming Joel wasn't helping Dina. Don't really need to add vanity to your list of shitty attributes for this episode, Ellie. I'm sure electricity is a finite resource in Jackson, so maybe not waste it on heating an open porch in the dead of winter. Casual fire hazard is casual. Also, Joel told Dina to have the crew clear the vines out of that pipe and replace it at least 2 days ago. If that's the main sewer line for Jackson, how are people pooping? People gotta poop! I've traveled between Salt Lake City and Jackson, Wyoming in the winter, and even in a 4-wheel drive truck, going straight over the mountains is not a sensible route. No wonder it took Abby and company 5 years to get here.
Jesus Christ, not another one. It's worse than a public information film.
50s, graying, beard, 6 foot tall, scar on his right temple. Oh yeah, they say he's handsome.
Oh no, he's hot!
You killed Eugene, and I resent you for it.
No, maybe a little more than that.
I hate you!
Oh my god, before we leave, you gotta check out the employee. Every guy in this room is staring at you right now.
Yeah, dude, Charlie's looking right at me.
What is wrong with you?
Be gone!
That's a fake thing.
Hey,